Hello and welcome to Enchantment of Eternity's Star Trek poll. So now it's time yet again for me to run some polls for Star Trek episodes to see which Star Trek episode you would like for me to review. Now, if this is your first time watching one of these, I choose 5 episodes at random from each of the 5 Star Trek series. I'll put them up and I'll put a poll in the description below. In this video, I will choose which 5 episodes will be in each poll. So I used a random episode generator for Star Trek the Original Series, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager. And for Enterprise, I just use a random number generator. And we go through the various shows and we randomly pick 5 episodes. I put a poll, I let it run for a couple weeks or whatever. And then I shall, review the episode and put it up on my channel. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it and see what our options are going to be for the polls. Okay, so let's go ahead and pick our options for Star Trek the Original Series. First option is Plato's Stepchildren, infamously the episode with one of the early depictions of an interracial kiss. However, a lot of people gloss over the fact that they are being, it's non-consensual. They're being manipulated by these asshole aliens. This is kind of a really dumb episode. You got Spock and it's Tweedledee, I'm Tweedledum. It's a stupid episode, but I can review it if you'd like. Next, we get the Enterprise incident. Actually, a pretty good episode. One of the rare good season 3 episodes where Kirk and Spock put on a charade for a Romulan commander to try to steal their cloaking device. Pretty interesting stuff. The Apple, which I have already reviewed, is one of the worst episodes of the original series. I did my review on this on my channel already. You can check that out if you'd like. Dagger of the Mind. Oh, God, I had to watch this episode recently. It's the episode where they go woo, 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 and brainwash Kirk. It's a really boring episode. Next, Requiem for Methuselah. You know what? I actually really liked this episode when I was a teenager, so I don't know how I feel about it now. I'm not as positive, obviously, but it's about this immortal guy who creates an android that Kirk tries to bang. Anyway, and the final option for the original series is Not For the World Is Hollow, and I have Touched the Sky because I've already reviewed that episode, which you can check out on my channel. It's going to be The Ultimate Computer. I really like this episode, actually. It's computer is supposed to be the future of Starfleet, ends up like killing everyone. Pretty interesting episode, if you ask me. So those are your options for Star Trek the Original Series. Alright, so now let's get into the options for Star Trek Next Generation. First option will be Angel 1. A really, really bad episode with a female-dominated society where the women treat Riker like shit, and I don't know, they tried hard with this one, I guess. I don't know. Next option, Dark Page, an actually decent Waxana Troy episode, where she goes into coma because she has suppressed memories, and Troy has to go inside her head. It's actually a decent episode. Actually, kind of like it. Next, Schisms or whatever. There's an effectively creepy episode as like an analogy for alien abduction. It was kind of okay. I never got really into this one myself. And next option, Ship in a Bottle. Amazing episode, The Return of Moriarty, where it's a enterprise within an enterprise within an enterprise. I actually love this episode. I can review that one if you'd like. And final option, Remember Me, an episode that everyone else likes a lot more than me. You know, when it first came out, I really liked it, but for some reason I got really sour toward it, and I just think it's really stupid and ridiculous, and I think Gates McFadden's acting is terrible. But anyway, so I can piss everyone off by reviewing that one. But anyway, there's your 5 options for Star Trek Next Generation. So now let's get into the options for Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Starting with a Dramatis Persona, season 1 episode where the crew gets taken over by these telepathic aliens and forced to have a mutiny that just very so happens to closely resemble the mutiny that would occur, except Odo's the only one who's not affected, so he's... Yeah, this episode's like... It's okay, I guess. It's fine. It's good for a season 1 episode. Next is Homefront, which I have already reviewed. You can check that out on my channel already. Next episode is Dax, getting back to a season 1 episode. This is a very stereotypical trial episode that is called, the name of the episode is Dax, but Dax actually barely appears in it and doesn't really have much to say in it. So basically, the show's like the first season episode saying, this is what Trill is like, and they spell out what being in Trill is like. But anyway, yeah, it's kind of a stupid twist ending, but it is okay. I can review that. Next option, Second Skin, which I have already reviewed on my channel. You can check that out. Next, What You Leave Behind, the series finale for Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I have not reviewed this one yet, so I can get into the final episode of Deep Space Nine, which is a pretty good episode. I think it's one of the best finales out there, to be honest. I mean, it has its faults. Vic Fontaine! But I think it's a really, like, the dark way they ended the Dominion War is, like, perfect. So I'd love to review that one. Next option, Body Parts. The episode where they come up with a contrived reason to explain why Nana Visitor's pregnant by having Keiko's baby get transported into her, and then the Quark is like thinks he's gonna die, but it was Brunt tricking him into it, so he loses his license or whatever, which is mainly a Quark episode. So I mean, it's not the worst Quark episode in the world, but that's what I say to that episode. And final option for Deep Space Nine, Strange Bedfellows, getting back to the final arc that ends Deep Space Nine. This one, of course, is when Gul Dukat, under disguise, is sleeping with Kai Wen, and is sort of the introduction of the Breen joins the Dominion, and sort of continues that story arc. It's a cog in the machine type episode, so not one of my favorites, but decent episode. I can review that if you like. So those are your 5 options for Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Alright, so time to get into our Voyager options. 5 options for Star Trek Voyager, starting with Muse. This is the different Muse, but still fuck this episode, fuck the Muse. But it's different than the Deep Space Nine one that I covered in my 10 worst episodes of all Star Trek. But it also sucks. It's like it's a requirement that any Star Trek episode called Muse have to suck. This is one where they try to do this contrived plot where B'Elanna crashes on this planet and they do Shakespeare bullshit and talk about the Borg Queen all of a sudden when she has nothing to do with anything. It's about B'Elanna, but whatever. It's a stupid episode. Next option is Memorial, which I have already reviewed on my channel. You can check out a review for that. Warhead, I also already covered on my channel. Amazing episode, underrated, but you can check out the review for that on my channel. Next option, Infinite Regress, which I used to really hate this episode, and it isn't a ridiculous episode where 7 of 9 starts acting out all the people that she assimilated, and most of them just so happen to be from the Alpha Quadrant, and makes no sense. But Jerry Ryan's acting in this is really good. I will say that, so I can review that one for you if you like. Next option, Darkling. God, I can't stand this episode. This is, I think, one of the worst episodes. It was in my top 5 worst episodes of Voyager, so I can really trash the hell out of this. This is Robert Picardo, who's usually a decent actor, does a terrible acting job, and it says, I am dark and evil. And it's such a terrible episode, and I can trash it more if you want me to. Next option is The Gift, and I'm fairly certain I've already reviewed this episode as well, so you can check that out on my channel. Caretaker I already reviewed. Pathfinder I have not. This is when they bring Barclay onto Voyager, and this is a pretty decent episode. You get Barclay's backstory and him trying to find Voyager. I like this episode as a standalone episode. I just don't like that they kept bringing Barclay back. I thought that was dumb, but this is a good episode. Tuvix! God damn it, I'm never touching this episode ever again. I did a review for this already. I'm done with it. And so, next, final option. Okay, Maneuvers. This is a Kazon episode where we first get Seska as a huge villain who does all these, schemes and powerful adversary trying to abduct Chakotay. I like this episode. As much as I don't like the Kazon, I actually thought this is a good episode, so I can cover this one if you like. So those are your Voyager options. Alright, so now we'll get into our Star Trek Enterprise options, and for that I used a random number generator. So first of all, let's see what season we're going to get into. Season 2, and which are 26 episodes for Season 2. And number 12, Season 2, Episode 12. Oh, that's Season 3. You got to fix the Season 2, Episode number 12. Is the catwalk on the catwalk. This is the episode where Enterprise has to go through some nebula nonsense and they can't survive, so they all have to hide in the catwalk, but there's aliens trying to take over the ship. It's an okay episode, probably one of the better ones of Season 2. It doesn't totally suck, so that gives it a heads up. Anyway, we'll see what our next option is for Enterprise. Season 1, also 26 episodes, and Season 1, Episode 9. Let's see what that's going to be. Season 1, Episode 9, Civilization. You know what? I thought I hated this episode, but when I watched it for my Enterprise season reviews, I actually really liked it. I was like, hey, this is actually decent. A decent Season 1 episode. I'm surprised how much I liked it. And other people apparently still hate it, but I actually think it's better than some of the other Season 1 episodes, so I can explain more if you choose this episode for me to review. Alright, so third option from Season 4. Now, Season 4, I have a special. I've done almost every episode of Season 4, so I have a special list. I've narrowed it down to 4 episodes. So it's going to be the second one on that list, which is Affliction Divergence. So that is the 2-part episodes where they do the stupid explanation of why the Klingons didn't have the Klingon makeup during the original series, which I think is the dumbest thing ever. But it's an okay episode. Phlox getting kidnapped and Reed's part of Section 31, so it's okay. I can cover that one, but I would rant about how that stupid explanation is so stupid. Anyway, so next we get into Season 1 again. So let's put 26. Season 1, Episode 5. Season 1. I'm already on Season 1. Episode 5 is Unexpected, which I've already reviewed. So let's choose something else. Sorry. Already covered that episode. You can check that out on my channel. Season 2. Episode 12. Season 2. Episode 12 is... Oh, I already did that. That's a fucking catwalk. Jesus Christ. Alright. Sorry. I should have realized that. Alright, Season 2. Again, love this thing. Love Season 2. Episode 15. Okay, Season 2, Episode 15 is Ceasefire. another decent, okay episode where they're trying to do negotiations between the Andorians and the Vulcans. And it's kind of predictable, but it's okay. It's not fine. As far as season 2 Enterprise goes, it's decent, which makes it excellent compared to the rest of the season. All right, so final Enterprise option, back to season 1. And it is going to be season 1, episode 4. And that is going to be Strange New World. This episode sucked! God, I hated this episode. I saw a review recently where, this is a decent episode. No, it's not. It's so stupid. Like, they go camping and Trip and Merriweather, let's go camping. And they act all weird, but then they get this thing that makes them hallucinate or whatever. Like, you're trying to trick me. And they're being really dumb and obtuse. And they're idiots. That's why I hate season 1. Ugh. Anyway, if you want me to trash an episode, I can get into that. So those are the options for Star Trek Enterprise. So those are your options. As I said, you can vote on which episode that you would like me to review by going in the description of this video, and there will be a link to each of the 5 polls. You can vote in each of the 5 polls, and eventually, when I get to record the video, I will determine who's winning, and if it's a tie, I reserve the right to be the tiebreaker, and I'll choose which one I want to review, but I will review the one with the most votes. The original series one, I am going to give it just like 3 days, and then I'm going to record my review for that video pretty much right away. But the other ones you'll have a bit longer, like the Enterprise one will probably be like a month or 2 before I get to that one. So yeah, be sure to vote in these polls, and thank you so much for watching, supporting my channel, and I will see you next time.